This is about Friday the 13th because it's Friday the 13th, May. Oh my goodness. This morning, we are not going to do the stats. I looked at it, nothing remarkable there. So I thought, well, we'll do short and sweet today. It's Fantastic Friday. Thank goodness. Huh? I love Fridays. You know, I love Fridays, I think because I can work tomorrow without interruptions. Does that make any sense? I have, a lot of material to prepare and things like that. And I can't do it during the days when I go to the office because I'm into operations and putting out fires and things like that. So Jimmy's going to join us shortly. Let me just say that a couple things today we're going to talk about. First of all, I have listed here some things that you can answer questions that what in our research we found that consumers are asking these questions, and these are both buyers and sellers. Number one, are home prices going to come down anytime soon? Number two, are we in a real estate bubble? We're going to address that in a minute. And number three, what if I can't find a house I can sell? We're going to address that. And should we wait before we buy a house? The next one, how long will it take for my property to sell? Well, that's easy. You know, the average home is selling within 3 weeks. So that's easy to answer. Or you can just say, to be conservative, oh, it'll be gone within a month. Or it'll be under contract in 3 weeks and we'll have it sold in 5 weeks. Whatever you find different areas of town have different timeline. So make sure that you answer that question correctly, because that builds your credibility when you know the answer and have statistics to back it up. Anyway, next is, with inventory so low, what if I can't find a new home to buy? Well, you've got that solution, right? If they know where they want to live, what school district, perhaps what area of town, then you will be able to, excuse me, you will be able to go to those villages or subdivisions or areas and start talking to some of those neighbors that might want to sell after you've done some research on exactly what your seller wants to buy. Then you go to those areas and homes that have those parameters. And so, yeah, you can do that. It's of course you can do it. So, and a lot of people are doing that. I mean, I get texts all the time. I get emails, oh, would you like to sell your home? I have a buyer interested. And with today's market, that's become more of a credible email or letter or text. I know, especially in the higher priced home ranges, that people that I talk to, they say, yeah, I believe that, Sam has a buyer. I really do. And so that's become before it used to look like, oh yeah, right, they're just wanting to list my home. But now it's really a legitimate conversation. And then, let's see, can we limit showings to only serious buyers? Well, yes, you can. You can limit it to serious buyers. You can have people, you can actually say that if you don't have a qualified buyer subject only to appraisal, then you're not going to let them see the house. Sounds kind of harsh, but if the seller wants that, I think Jimmy will agree that you can certainly say that.
Yes, you can.
Yeah, Jimmy, I don't know if you're listening, but we're going over, these are some of the top questions that consumers are asking. And do virtual open houses and showings work? They do to some extent, and a lot of time, I don't know about you, Jimmy, but at our brokerage, there's people buying houses sight unseen. We do request that the agents, as part of the due diligence, make sure that the buyer sees the house. What is your take on that one?
Well, I think that if you want to give them a reasonable time to look at the house, if you want to make an offer to see if we'll take it, that's fine. We put it out there on an asking price to see if anybody will pay our asking price. If they come in with an offer and we know that the buyer hasn't seen it yet, to say, look, if I'm going to accept your offer, you have 72 hours to go look at the house. And if you haven't looked at the house in 72 hours, I'm going to cancel the offer. The seller can cancel the offer too, because I know I had 2 deals in Boulder City in the last 30 days where the buyer didn't see the house. twice, and both buyers canceled when they saw the complex. They liked the house. The house was great, but the complex, the surrounding area. So the seller said, you know what? I didn't want to take any offers unless they've seen the house. And as you mentioned, that's kind of harsh, but if your offer is accepted, you got 3 days to go see the house. That's not unreasonable.
No, I don't think so either. Yeah. And then here's another question. What if I get an offer over asking price and the home won't appraise?
Gee, we never see that happen, do we?
No. And actually, the division has made a statement about that. And basically on page 2, that the appraisal contingency really remedies that, because it says it becomes a negotiation if the property doesn't appraise.
Right.
And I think some agents need to read that a couple times and let it sink in, because they ask me that all the time.
Yeah.
Can I put this verbiage? Can I put a ceiling? Can I put this? I said, if you just read that paragraph, it handles it.
Right.
So, yeah, so that's our contract handles that quite well.
I think the challenge is how long it takes the buyer to get the appraisal, because you don't really know if you have a deal until the appraisal comes in. Because if you don't want to renegotiate, look, I know it's worth 640. You know it's worth 640. The appraiser says 620. He's one opinion. It's 2 against 1. We both think it's worth 640. If you don't have the extra cash, I got to let you out. But don't make me wait 28 days to find out the appraiser's opinion is going to cause you to back out of the house.
Well,
Put a reasonable time on that.
Yes, and that's such a good point, because what we've been telling people, have your appraisal done within 18 days. Don't wait till the last minute, or 17 days, So a week after the due diligence is over, you need the appraisal. And if the buyer is qualified subject only to the appraisal, then, that should be in the works, and your buyer should be working with someone that can get that appraisal done that quickly. And they can do that. They can do that. So yeah, that isn't as complicated as people may think it is. And then, will my property pass inspection? Well, the answer to that is, and I've said this for years, because I learned this at the IBuyer class I took down in Phoenix with the gentleman with the frosty mustache, which you
Curtis
remember.
Hall.
Yes,
Curtis Hall,
thank you, Curtis Hall. I could never remember his name. Anyway, yeah. So anyway, he says, get an inspection first. So when somebody looks at the house, they can see the inspection. They can see that the seller's fixed everything that that inspector found. And that does help some people not have buyer's remorse in the beginning. And then, of course, as an agent, you say you can always get your own inspection too. But it looks like, we're not going to have any massive surprises, which that's what that eliminates. I like it anyway.
That's what CRS recommends too. When Lee Barrett and Mark Given teach CRS, they recommend you get that done up front.
Yeah, why not? And then what mistakes should I avoid? Man, that is one that's got many, many legs on that question. And that's part of, the thing that you always say, that buyers think that it's easy and keys, right?
Right.
So there's a lot of answers to that question, and that could be a lot of videos.
Well, there's a form on Transaction Desk that has a list of the events that happen and when they're supposed to happen. And I think that's one way to avoid it. You sit down with the buyer and say, look, on this date, if we don't have this done, we're out of contract. On this date, if we don't have this done, we're out of contract. On this date, this is the date. And if we miss these dates, the seller can withdraw based on they might have a higher backup offer in there. So that's how you eliminate problems. You get, as you've always said on the agency duties owed, clear expectations. Here's the dates. Let me make it very clear. On this date, this runs out. Yes.
And that's a great topic for many videos that an agent can do on across all the social media platforms. And then how do I attract buyers now? Well, you need a marketing plan. And when you pose that question, like, sellers are saying, how do I attract buyers now? Well, I have a 15-point marketing plan that I show my sellers, and it includes whatever it includes. And again, that's another great video.
If that's a question from your clients, that's one thing. But if it's a question from you as a real estate professional, watch Ruthie's show from yesterday. It is a perfect way to attract clients. It's not that hard. It requires a little bit of work, but it's very targeted, and you're going to get clients from that. Yeah. If you just watch that one show and just do that one thing, you'll get clients.
And I'm going to do the how-to video like you suggested this weekend, and make that available for everybody. All right, so those are some ideas that you can do social media, blog posts, put out there and answer these questions, but pose them as a question and then say, so here's the answer to this question that many people have asked me. So that's kind of the lead in.
Yeah.
So let's go to another topic here now, something that, oh, why does it always do that? Hold on, hold please. Oh, please. Did it do it? I want it to go right in between us. Come on. It's not the end of the world if it doesn't. Maybe I can move you over. No?
Or you can just block me. I do so we can see it.
No, it's okay. It's all right. I'm going to, okay, get this done. Nope, I did. All right, we'll do this. Okay, so what was the subprime meltdown? Now, this is a response and answer to, is there a bubble? And I think one of the ways that you address that is to address the real bubble we had, which was called the subprime meltdown. And it was the sharp increase in high-risk mortgages that went into default beginning in 2007. They had started, Jimmy, you can let me know here. They can't hear you, but let me see. Let's put you up here. She always, okay. So in your opinion, or in your knowledge, really, I think that those liar loans or whatever they called them, they started in the early 2000s. Mm-hmm. I think actually after 2001, I think that the Federal Reserve reduced the mortgage or the interest rate to encourage people to get back into life, because it was such a horrific thing when we had the 9/11. Mm-hmm. And the history that I've read is that it was shortly thereafter that they started lowering interest rates to get people back into the economy. And so that meant credit card interest rates went down a little bit, and so did mortgages. And I think that's when these fancy dancy loans started, if I can recall properly. What do you think?
Well, no doubt people were getting loans they couldn't make the payments on when the rate adjusted.
Yes.
They had a time bomb there, and when the rate adjusted, they weren't prepared for it. Their income didn't go up the way the rates went up.
Yeah, and they say the housing boom of the mid-2000s combined with low interest rates at the time prompted many lenders to offer home loans to individuals with poor credit. Mm-hmm. And then when the real estate bubble burst, many borrowers were unable to make payments at their subprime mortgages. So, that's it in a nutshell. And then the key takeaways that they say is that the subprime meltdown was the sharp increase in high risk mortgages, like you said, that went into default beginning in 2007. That's when they started. I think then the rates kind of went up, right? And so then the people couldn't make the payments, if I read what you're saying correctly. And the housing boom of the mid 2000s, along with low interest rates, led many lenders to off. We said that before, but that's another takeaway. They were loaning people to anybody that could breathe. And then when the real estate bubble burst, did it go back? Hold, please. Yeah, that's it. They were unable to make the payments. And then the subprime meltdown led to the financial crisis, the Great Recession, and a massive sell-off in the equity markets. So we don't have that now. And so when you're trying to explain to people why we're not going to have, a subprime meltdown, because we don't have subprime lending, for one thing, and right. People have real equity in their homes now because they bought them at $120,000 back then, and they're worth $400,000 now. Mm-hmm. So people have equity, and they probably refinanced. And like Mike was saying yesterday in class, people don't want to sell their homes, or might have been Alfred, but people don't want to sell their homes now because they have a great interest rate.
Right. Where are they going to go?
Yeah. And they're living in the payment, and they have equity. So right. I remember years ago, maybe in the 90s, people were staying in their homes an average of 5 to 7 years for whatever reason. And now it's 10 to 15 years. So those numbers have doubled. And that's, go ahead.
It comes down to risk reward. If I don't make my payments and they take my house away, where am I going to go? I'm going to have to rent something, and it's going to be 4 times what I'm paying now. I'll find a way to make my payments because I can't afford to lose this low payment house. I can't afford it.
Yeah. So in response to this particular situation, I think I mentioned yesterday in class that someone had called me about, or actually came to the office and said, look, I know you've got lots of agents, and I have a hedge fund or two hedge funds that are buying houses as investments. So if your listings meet this criteria, let me know and we'll do an offer. You can be even before you put it on the market. So that's kind of what's going around.
Well, what was shocking was how many he said they're trying to buy per month in Las Vegas.
Yes. Yeah. And that's just one person.
Tell them how many.
100, or well, they're trying to get 130.
Yeah, per month in Las Vegas. That's crazy.
It is. It's crazy. It is crazy. And Jimmy, when I'm doing my research, I come upon some crazy things. I came upon this today. Let's see if I can find it. So while we've all been, talking about the iBuyers and the power buyers for the past couple of years, another category of investments, at least for the U.S., have started to emerge. It's called the shared equity company. Significant players here include HomeTap, Unison, Unlock, and Point, yeah. And which announced a $115 million funding round last week. So these companies offer homeowners an alternative to the traditional home equity or HELOCs, buying some of their home's equity and sharing the hopes for the property to appreciate. But that's going to be a joint venture with the homeowner. And the homeowner has no monthly payments on the cash that they receive. So seems well suited to our rising rate, high volume market moment that we have now. But homeowners are sitting on mountains of cash. And this is a way to use it from the company's side. You could think of as iBuying Lite. So we have iBuying platforms, and now this is going to be called iBuying Lite. And like iBuying, these companies, including Point, are giving institutional investors, this is the big thing, access to American single-family homes by cutting them into deals. So they're giving you money. They're not buying your house, but that's what they want, and they're going to share the equity, and eventually they want the house. I see this as something really treacherous.
Well, when people were using their houses like credit cards and getting their equity out, and that's part of the reason why they didn't have any equity, because values were going up and they were just getting a HELOC, they were getting credit lines on their houses. And then when it came time to pay the piper, it was smarter just to not make the payments for 2 years and then buy the house across the street, because I'm into my house $630. The house across the street's got a pool and it's only $410. So that buy and bail thing made sense because people use their houses like ATMs. And that's what this is threatening to do again. Just get some money from your house, and how much loan to value are they willing to go up to tap into your equity? I don't know.
I don't know either, but it's scary to me. Anytime I become very leery of the investors coming in and the hedge funds coming in, buying our homes or getting into our market. Right. I don't see that it's a good thing. And I always get back to my, plan, farm, and database. If you are not in touch with these homeowners, we're going to lose. We can lose our market. We can lose our industry. Not today, not tomorrow, but it's just like everything else. All of a sudden, it hits you in the face, and now we have Zillow, for instance. Mm-hmm. I mean, yeah, that took 20 years or whatever, but it didn't matter. It happened.
Well, it also allowed other people to copy. Once they see Zillow's expecting, then home whatever, all the other iBuyers can come in and they can just take Zillow's model and just, if you build a model that works, other people are going to copy it.
Of course.
And it's going to take more and more of the market.
And that's the same thing with this that worries me.
Yeah, there's already 4 or 5 companies entering into that vertical.
Yeah, exactly. And they're getting funding. Mm-hmm. So I don't know. I don't want the American dream to go away. And I guess I worry about that. So that's why I want people to farm and stay in touch with, make relationships with the people that are homeowners, and when these and learn about these things. And so when the homeowner says, "Oh, by the way, Ruth, somebody offered me," and I would have to say they've got to have some lien or something on your house. There's got to be some, if they're giving you money,
Oh, this,
there's
yeah,
got to,
there's a
there's
lien.
got to be a legal document there that gives them, and so at some point when you are ready to sell that house and they're ready to just give you the money, there's no real estate transaction involved with a realtor.
Yeah. If they say we want first right refusal, we'll loan you 40, 50 grand, but we want a first right refusal when you put it on the market. Once you get an offer, let us look at it. If we can equal it, we're going to, that's probably in the documents. We'll have to see.
Yes. Yeah. We're going to have to see. And so anyway, building relationships, it should be what you should be doing. And I love seeing so many realtors, like Mike was saying yesterday, he's on TikTok and he's got a voice and people are listening, and he's just talking off the cuff, with his ideas and thoughts about what's going on. And everybody has their own opinion and entitled to freedom of speech. So, I like that, and more agents. That's why I started off with the video list of things. Start educating people and start making them see you the authority and you the person that they know, like, and trust. And then when these things come up, they'll call you and say, "Hey, Jimmy, what is this iBuyer platform want to loan me money for?" Because there's an end game.
Right. Well, and Mike's got a really strong background in his credentials. And when people see his videos and they forward it to other people, that's how he's building his audience, the forwards that he's getting from his comments.
Yeah, people are sharing.
Yeah.
And that's what people will do for everybody if you all start doing videos too. And like I said,
if TikTok just wasn't so darn expensive.
I know.
Oh, wait a minute. Shoot.
I know LinkedIn's free, Facebook is free, Instagram's free, Pinterest is free, and so is TikTok. So, and there's 7 billion people, 7 billion in the world. Wow, yes. That's a lot of people. Yeah. And these platforms are, they're showing numbers in the billions of people who are watching them.
Right.
So you can't take that lightly.
And the people aren't all from this country.
No.
They're all over the world.
Yeah. And just another topic off the wall. We have a Canadian investor that came down here. He's staying here for the month, and he is seriously thinking about buying a house in Las Vegas. He loves Las Vegas. We manage 16 of his properties, and he said that in Canada now they are proposing to limit foreign investors from buying more than 2 homes because especially the Asian market is buying up Vancouver and other parts of Canada.
Yeah.
As investors. And then I saw in the news where that China is buying land in Oklahoma and putting drug farms on them.
Wow.
Farmland turning into I think the newscaster said they're drug farms now, not vegetable farms.
Wow, interesting.
I know. But we all have to be aware of all these things that are going on around us, and then keep our nose to the grindstone and not let it really interfere with our state of mind. We can't live in fear, and we have to. And like Tony Robbins says, if you're doing something, and making progress, that keeps you out of the state of fear because you're accomplishing something with an end game with your strategies.
Right.
And I think that's my parting thought for the day, that, change your state of mind. Don't live in fear. Make progress. Be able to tell your story. I gave you 10 or 12, 15 stories at the beginning that you can tell. And then have a strategy to farm and to stay in touch with your database and get people to know, like, and trust us so that we keep these other people out of our lives.
Yeah, we need to be there when they're ready. And we need to know they're going to be ready before they're ready. So when we see a life event happen, we've got to be really mindful and aware that, hey, their kids are going off to college, or their kids are coming home from college, or they're retiring in a year and a half. What are you going to do when you retire? Oh, I'm going to go to Florida. You know what? Let's look at some property in Florida right now before it goes up anymore. I'm going to move to Oklahoma. You know what? Before prices get out of, maybe you should get something there now and help them buy something somewhere else. Yeah. It doesn't have to be in Las Vegas. Just help them buy something somewhere.
Yeah, especially if they're moving. That's true. That's very true. Well, Jimmy, you have anything great planned for the weekend?
I'm I'm actually going on a marketing consultation on Sunday, and it's a $1.7 million home. So what I've got going for the weekend is go see as many homes around there as I can. So when I walk in there, I actually know what the hell I'm doing.
That's fantastic.
See properties. That's what I'm gonna do this weekend. See properties.
Cool.
Almost like a real estate agent.
That's terrific. Well, I have a property management complaint that I have to work on tomorrow. And someone saying that we didn't do anything right when we did everything right. So, but I still have to respond to it.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it's not a complaint with the division. It's actually just an attorney letter. But anyway, that'll take my Saturday, and then we're going to a birthday party Saturday night. I know, fun. And we have a little fish pond in our courtyard. And we bought these little koi fish a couple years ago that are now like, I can't even show you. They're so huge. So we're going to take them to our birthday party because the gentleman has a pond bigger than ours and he has koi. So we're going to we have to figure out how we're going to transport them.
Yeah. Well, the bigger the fish, the bigger the pond.
Yeah, right. Exactly. And then Sunday, we're having our Canadian friend for dinner and our poker gal, Sandy, and we're going to cook. And so we've got a busy weekend.
Good for you. Social stuff's really important.
I know I haven't done any for a while. Since my friend passed away, I've been a little shut in a little bit, but I'm ready to break out.
Good. Well, that Canadian should be very interesting to hear about Canada right now. That should be a great conversation.
Yes, it will be. Well, Jimmy, thank you so much for coming today. And I apologize, everybody. I've been a little wonky because I'm trying to work out and do other things. And my little puppy came into heat this morning. She's had one heat in 3 years. So we thought she wasn't going to have any more. So I had to deal with that. So anyway, life happens. And but you can watch this anytime. Jimmy, thank you again.
Okay.
Hi, everybody. Yes, we have a class. Oh, my gosh. I forgot. We have an agency class. Who do you work for? You got to prove it. Right, Jimmy?
Yep. If they ask you, what did you do? You better have a good answer.
Yes. And that's 2 to 5 at 8400 West Sahara, or go to b.vegas and sign up. And 2 to 5 with food and beverages.